My husband put me in a 10-bed ward when I was in labor. But booked the presidential suite for his secretary who had a cold. I immediately switched hospitals. While my husband and his secretary were enjoying their little love nest, a nurse dropped a truth bomb. That shattered him on the spot. It wasn't just ordinary pain. It was like someone took a blunt knife and started digging it into the very base of my spine, inch by agonizing inch. My knuckles turned white as I gripped the sheets beneath me. Amniotic fluid trickled down my thighs. My $3,000 silk nightgown is soaked. I bit my lip until I tasted blood. Jason, wake up. My water broke. I'm in labor. Laced with uncontrollable tremors. The man wrapped in silk blankets next to me just rolled over, yanked the covers over his head, and mumbled. What do you mean, in labor? It's the middle of the night. Your due date isn't for another week. Did you eat something bad? Get hot water yourself. Don't bother me. I didn't move. Not because the pain paralyzed me, but because I suddenly remembered something. 3 days ago, while looking for a charger in his study, I accidentally saw the chat history open on his computer. That woman called him hubby. She sent a lipstick try-on selfie with the caption, "Miss you." He replied, "Wait for me. Soon." I didn't confront him then. I just took a screenshot and saved it to an encrypted folder. He'd never find. Because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the man who needed 3 hints. He cried harder than me at our wedding. Would be stupid enough to cheat in our 3rd year of marriage, while I was carrying his child. Now I believe it. Not because of the chat, but because right here, right now. My water has broken, I'm bleeding, I'm in excruciating pain. And my husband, the father of my child, has his head under the covers. Telling me to get my own hot water, I pushed myself up. Every movement was slow, because with each shift, the little one inside me dropped lower. As if reminding me, Mom, stop waiting. He's useless. I took a deep breath and yanked the covers off him. Jason Chen. My water broke. I'm bleeding. Take me to the hospital. Now. Immediately. His eyes snapped open. He looked at me first. Then his gaze dropped, landing on that horrifying patch of dark red. His face changed for a second. Just a second. He scowled, ran a hand through his hair, and cursed. Perfect timing. Causing trouble. He grabbed his phone and started getting dressed. He complained the car was just washed. He told me not to dirty the seats. At that moment, the last bit of warmth left inside me felt doused in ice water, frozen solid. 3 years ago, I gave up everything abroad to come back and marry this man I thought would love me forever. My family's manufacturing empire has over a dozen factories, billions in annual revenue, but I never told him any of that. It wasn't a secret. I just wanted to see if I was just a regular woman. Would he still treat me right? Turns out, he would. He'd pick me up when I pretended to work late. He'd buy 99 roses on Valentine's Day, even though I ended up footing the bill. He'd stay by my bedside all night when I was sick, even though he'd complain the next day about being tired, and demand I buy him that new watch's compensation. I always told myself it was fine, because he loved me. And I loved him. But thinking about it now, that Jason Chen I fell in love with probably never even existed. From our home to City 3rd People's Hospital. It's only a 15-minute drive, but the entire way, not a single word of comfort. He didn't even look at me. He was on the phone the whole time, not calling the hospital, calling his secretary, Bella Meng. Yeah. I just left the house, it's fine. Don't worry. She just went into labor early. Once I drop her off, it'll be handled. How's your cold? Feeling better? Did you get the medicine I told you to buy? Drink lots of hot water. Stay away from cold stuff. Tomorrow, we'll see tomorrow. If she's done giving birth, I'll come find you. His hand on the steering wheel, his voice so gentle. He soothed her, unlike his irritation with me. I leaned back in the passenger seat. My stomach tightening in waves, the pain making my vision blur. But I didn't make a sound. I didn't even look at him. I just kept thinking to myself. Vivian Sue, are you seeing this clearly now? This is the man you chose. For 3 years. The car stopped at the ER entrance. He didn't open my door. He didn't even turn off the engine. He just glanced over. We're here. Get out. I need to find parking. Get out. A woman whose water broke. Cervix already dilated, in active labor, getting out by herself. Walking into the ER. I didn't argue. Pushed the door open. Held the car, stood, walked toward ER. A cold wind rushed down my collar. I shivered. But that chill was nothing. The pain was worse. The ER lobby was bright. The place was packed. People were crying while holding their kids. Wheelchairs rushed by, groans on gurneys. The air reeked of disinfectant, mixed with this indescribable, sour stench that made you want to puke. I stood at the triage desk. The nurse glanced at me. Asked, "Where's your husband?" Parking the car. The nurse frowned. But still quickly arranged a gurney for me, told me to lie down. And had me wheeled to the maternity ward. On the way, she asked a few routine questions. I answered each one. My voice eerily calm, even surprising myself. My phone buzzed. A WeChat from Jason Chen. I parked. Coming up now. You handle the paperwork first. I didn't reply. We reached the ward. The nurse wheeled me into a room and left. Lying on the gurney, I looked up at the room. 8 beds. 8 beds crammed full, nightstands shoved against nightstands. A narrow aisle, thick air. Smelling of sweat, sour milk, and some kind of spoiled food. The woman in the bed by the window was moaning. The baby at the next bed was wailing its lungs out. The old man snored, shaking the walls. This was the bed Jason Chen pulled strings to get me. In an 8-bed ward, the one closest to the door. Nearest the bathroom, the noisiest, smelliest spot. I closed my eyes. Took a deep breath, told myself, don't get angry. It's not worth it. Jason Chen took nearly half an hour to come up. He was holding a stack of papers. The look on his face wasn't concern. It was impatience. He tossed the papers onto the nightstand. Then said the words I'd never forget, paperwork's done. I fronted the deposit for the bed. You owe me back. Owe him back. I looked up at him. He avoided my gaze, picked up his phone. Texting someone, a faint smile playing on his lips. I didn't ask him what you owe me meant. Because it suddenly hit me, arguing with him about this was utterly pointless. A man who, when his wife's water breaks, is still worried about parking fees. Talking to him is like talking to a brick wall. A nurse came over. Cold fetal monitor probe on my belly. I couldn't help but shiver. The nurse worked as she instructed. You're 2 centimeters dilated. If it hurts, bear it. Don't scream. You'll disturb the others. Family member, go fetch some hot water. Jason Chen grunted in acknowledgement, picked up some random bright red plastic basin he'd found, and left. The moment he was gone, the auntie from the next bed leaned over. Whispering, "Sweetie, is that your husband?" I nodded. Auntie whispered, "Saw him in the hallway." On the phone, smiling so sweetly. Calling the person on the other end a baby, saying, "Wait for me. I'll be right there to be with you. Sweetie, you better watch out." I was hurting, but had no time for it. The little one in my belly started acting up again. Wave after wave of contractions came crashing over me. Each one was more brutal than the last. Like it was trying to rip me in two. I gripped the bed rail. Nails dug into metal, biting back tears. They still came anyway. Not because of the pain. Because I suddenly remembered. Yesterday, before Jason Chen left, I asked him to pick up a box of chocolates for me. The imported kind I love. He said, sure. He'd bring them back for me tonight. He came home, empty-handed. Where are the chocolates? He forgot. Later. I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. It had 2 items on it. A box of imported chocolates. And a YSL lipstick. The chocolates and the lipstick. Same time. Same checkout. He swapped the chocolates for a lipstick. I never saw him bring it home. I took a deep breath, forced the tears back, and picked up my phone from the bedside table. I dialed a number. It rang twice. A steady voice answered. Young mistress. Uncle Lee. My voice was hoarse, but every word was sharp and clear. I'm at City 3rd Hospital. Maternity ward, room 402. My water broke. I'm about to give birth. Jason Chen dumped me here. And left. Bring a team to get me. Take me to Rueha Hospital. Bring everyone you can. There was a beat of silence on the line. Then the sound of a chair scraping back. Young mistress. I'll be there in 20 minutes. 15, I said. Yes. I hung up, put the phone down, and closed my eyes, feeling every single roll and kick from the little one inside me. Between contractions, I could even feel his tiny feet pushing against my ribs. I'm sorry, baby, making you wait so long in this filthy, noisy place. Mommy's taking you away now. Somewhere clean. Somewhere quiet. Where you'll be born. You don't need to meet the world in a place like this. By the time the nurse came in for rounds, I'd already changed my clothes and packed my things. Not that there was much to pack. Just one bag. With my prenatal records, ID, bank cards. Where are you going? The nurse frowned. Transferring. You're fully dilated. You can't transfer now. I looked at her and smiled. It's my family's hospital. I'll go when I want. She was stunned. I ignored her, picked up my bag, and walked out. Just as I reached the door, I heard a flurry of footsteps coming from down the hall. Not one person. Many, very disciplined footsteps. At the end of the corridor, 6 men in black formed a line. The department head. Well, actually, he was my mom's primary physician back in the day. He was followed by 4 nurses, pushing a mobile gurney. Director Liu saw me. His eyes instantly welled up. Vivian? You've suffered. I shook my head. Not really. Let's go. Bodyguards cleared a path. Nurses helped me onto it, tucking me under the heated blanket. They wheeled me out. As we passed the nurses' station, the nurse who'd just been questioning me was gaping, her pen clattering to the floor. Passing the door of room 402, I heard from behind me a collective, sharp intake of breath. I didn't look back. No point. Starting today, this 8-bed ward. This ridiculous marriage, this man who treated me like trash and dumped me here, none of it has anything to do with me anymore. The gurney moved unimpeded, down the hall, through the elevator, across the ER lobby. The people waiting in line automatically parted. Some pulled out their phones to take pictures. Others whispered. Lying on the temperature-controlled bed, I watched the ceiling lights, one after another, sweep past overhead. My mind was strangely calm. Outside the hospital doors, 5 black Maybachs were lined up, flanking a white medical ambulance in the middle. A bodyguard opened the door. Nurses wheeled me inside. The moment the door closed, the whole world fell silent. Inside, temperature and humidity were perfectly controlled. Carried a faint scent of lavender. Compared to that 8-bed ward just now, it was like 2 different worlds. Director Liu sat beside me, watching the monitor's readings, his brow gradually relaxing. Fetal heart stable. Cervix 3 centimeters, time for epidural. You did right. Any later, conditions there couldn't have guaranteed a safe delivery. I nodded, took my phone, and opened the banking app. Our joint account. The account holder was my name. Jason Chen was just an authorized user. Over these past 3 years, I'd deposited nearly 30 million into it, bit by bit. To ease his business, give financial backing. Scrolled the history. Top to bottom, normal. Until last night, at 11 o'clock. 11:03 p.m. 1 transfer. 1.99 million. Recipient. Starlight Culture Media Company, Limited 11:11 p.m. A second transfer. 1.99 million. 11:19 p.m. A third transfer. 1.99 million. 11:27 p.m. A fourth transfer. 1.99 million. 11:35 p.m. Fifth transfer. 1.99 m. Nearly 10 million. In labor, water broken, wheeled into the ward. Transfer after transfer was being siphoned from my account. And the legal representative of the company that received the funds is named by Jiangwo, by Meng Yao's own brother. I stared at the numbers on the screen and suddenly laughed. Jason Chen, oh, Jason Chen, you are something else. You left your wife to die in an 8-bed ward, and with my money. You bought lipstick for your secretary. But that wasn't enough. You wanted to drain my accounts dry. Don't leave me a penny. So clever, huh? You thought while I was giving birth, I wouldn't be checking my phone. You thought by the time I had the baby, the money would already be cleaned, laundered beyond my reach. You think I can't touch you. You're wrong. Your biggest mistake is not knowing who I really am. I picked up my phone. I dialed the second number. The call connected. A cool, collected voice answered. Miss Sue. It's so late, Uncle Wang. I'm sorry to disturb your rest. My voice was calm. So calm it felt foreign even to me. I need a favor. Now. Immediately. Right this second. Go on. The account under my name, ending in 6688, had 5 large transfers tonight. Total amount, 9.95 million. The recipient is a shell company incorporated less than 2 months ago. I need you, in the bank's name, to initiate anti-money laundering protocol. Intercept those 5 transactions. Silence. How much was transferred? 9.95 million. When? Starting at 11:03 p.m. Until now. Less than an hour. All right. Uncle Wang's voice suddenly turned sharp and efficient. Send me the account number. I'll have my people handle it right now. Large late-night transfers to a new account. Itself triggers AML alerts. We'll use internal channels. Within 5 minutes, the funds will be frozen. One more thing, I added. All accounts under his name, including credit cards and third-party payments, freeze them all. Uncle Wang paused. Are you sure? That means he can't buy water tomorrow. I'm sure. Okay. Consider it done. Hanging up, I leaned back on the gurney and let out a long, slow breath. Outside the car window, the city's nightscape rushed by. The neon lights glow, streaked across the glass in ribbons of color. Dean Liu said softly, Young miss, we've arrived at Rueha. The car door opened. A rush of crisp, cool night air hit me. I looked up. Before me was Rueha Hospital's brightly lit VIP entrance. 2 rows of medical staff stood at the ready. The gurney was smoothly wheeled inside. The delivery room door closed behind me, sterile lights flickered on. Bright and cold. Nurses changed my gown, inserted the 4-line hook to monitors. All methodical, pros. Calm, compared to that chaotic, overcrowded public hospital. This was heaven. Director Liu himself did my anesthesia assessment. As he worked, he said, Miss, don't you worry. The entire team is our hospital's absolute best. There won't be a single problem. I nodded, then something hit me. Director Liu, after my son is born, can you make sure he doesn't get to see him? Director Liu paused, then understood. He nodded. Rest assured. Rueha Hospital's security system is top-tier nationwide. Without your explicit permission, no one gets near the delivery or recovery areas. Thank you. The anesthesiologist prepped my back with antiseptic. A cool liquid flowed through the catheter. That excruciating, gut-wrenching pain slowly faded, replaced by a numb, floating sensation. My breathing steadied. My mind cleared, regaining its usual cold focus. My phone buzzed. A bank alert. Asterisk dear valued customer. 5 suspicious transactions from your account ending in 6688, totaling 9.95 million yuan, have been intercepted and returned. For questions, please call customer service asterisk. A second message followed. Asterisk dear valued customer. Your account ending in 6688 has been placed under judicial freeze. Account status is normal. All transactions are suspended asterisk. A third. Asterisk dear valued customer, 3 credit cards and 2 debit cards under your name have been frozen per judicial request. Apologies. I read the 3 messages. A slow, cold smile curling my lips. Jason Chen. You wanted to bleed me dry? You wanted to sip champagne with your little secretary in the presidential suite? You wanted to play me for a fool, spin me in circles? Well, guess what? Your cards are empty now. Let's see how you're gonna cover that 100K hotel deposit. How you'll buy that crocodile bag your secretary loves. How you'll keep up that pathetic, laughable, tycoon act of yours. A nurse gently took the phone from my hand. Miss Sue. Surgery is starting. Let's put this away. I nodded, closed my eyes. The scalpel cut through skin. I felt no pain. Just a faint tugging sensation. The monitor beeped a steady rhythm, like a countdown. Jason Chen. Your countdown has begun. The delivery room fell utterly silent. Only the clink of instruments and Director Liu's low commands. My mind is crystal clear, I can even feel the little guy being gently pulled out of me by the doctor. Out. It's a boy. A sharp, piercing cry shatters the quiet of the delivery room. Loud and clear. Full of life, doesn't sound like a newborn. Fresh out of the womb at all. The nurse takes him to the side table to clean him up. Director Liu is stitching me up herself, saying as she works. 7 pounds 6 ounces, 52 centimeters long, APGAR score of 10. A perfectly healthy baby. I turn my head and look at that tiny, red, wrinkly little bundle. Tears finally spill over, tracing down my temples. Not from self-pity. From relief. Relief that I got him out of that place. Relief he didn't have to enter this world. In that stinking, snore-filled 8-bed ward. Relieved he'll never call that man father. Daddy. The nurse cleans him, swaddles him, and brings him to me. Miss Sue, look at your baby. He's so handsome. His eyes are just like yours. I look at that tiny face. His lips are pink. His nose is small, his eyes are closed, his lashes long and curled. He yawns, a little hand escaping the swaddle. 5 tiny fingers clenched tight, like he's grabbing for something. I reach out and gently touch his fingertip. His fingers instantly wraps my finger with a surprisingly strong grip. Hello there, little Mr. Sue, I whisper. Welcome to the world. Of course he doesn't understand. But he moves his little mouth, like he's answering me. I smile. Director Liu finishes stitches. Nurse puts baby in incubator and wheels it next to me. I watch him. His little chest rising and falling, breathing steady and calm. Completely unaware of what his mom just went through. Or what kind of grand delusions his deadbeat father is lost in right now, wherever he is. My phone buzzes again. I pick it up. A message from Uncle Wang. Nianwei, the funds are all frozen. Also, someone looked into that Starlight Culture Media Limited account. Limited S account. Besides the 9.95 million you transferred, there was another deposit of 3.2 million, 3 days ago. The payer was a trading company. The legal representative is also by Jiangwo. I've applied to freeze that amount as well. 3 days ago. 3.2 million. I stare at the words. My mind races. 3 days ago. Jason told me. The company needed operating capital, asked me to transfer money. I did. He said 3 million would be enough. I said I'd give you an extra 200,000 for emergencies. So this was the emergency? Sent to the mistress's brother. Then using my money to fund his little side piece. What a brilliant plan. I took a deep breath and put my phone down. I turned to look at the little guy in the incubator. I said, Mommy has to take care of something. After I do this, no one will ever be able to bully us again. The baby yawned. I took that as agreement. At 5 in the morning, I was transferred to the top floor. VIP suite at Rueha Hospital. They called it a suite. More like a luxury apartment, bedroom, living room, bathroom. 180 SQM, floor-to-ceiling windows. The entire city skyline. The living room had a leather sofa, a solid wood coffee table, an 80-inch LCD TV. The bedroom had a king-size climate-controlled bed. with silk sheets and memory foam pillows. Bathroom bigger than bedrooms, with a jacuzzi. A steam shower, a smart toilet. The kitchen had a fridge, oven, microwave, everything. There was even a dedicated nutritionist team, in charge of 3 meals a day. The balcony was full of plants. Sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, shining on the special crib they'd prepared for the baby. Uncle Lee stood in the living room, with 2 young women in black uniforms behind him. "Young miss, your top-tier postpartum nanny and nurse. From now on, they are on call 24/7. Uncle Lee's voice was as steady as ever, but I noticed his eyes were a little red. "You've worked hard." I shook my head. "Not at all, Uncle Lee, help me look into a few things. Of course. Find out everything about Jason Chen and Bella Meng's relationship. When it started, how far it's gone. Are they living together? Get bank and chat records. Second, investigate that Starlight Culture Media Company, Limited. All its business registration info, bank statements, associated accounts. Don't miss a single detail. Third, get me in touch with attorney Zhang Yunhai. Tell him to come to Ruiha this morning. I'm filing for divorce." Uncle Lee noted it all down. Finally, he asked, "Young miss, should we warn the young master first?" I glanced at him. "What kind of heads up do you give a man who abandoned his wife when her water broke to go shack up with his mistress?" Uncle Lee was silent for a moment, then nodded. "I understand." He turned to leave. I stopped him. "Uncle Lee, call my father. Tell him I've given birth. Mother and son are fine. Tell him not to worry. I'll handle everything else myself." Uncle Lee seemed to want to say more, but in the end, he just nodded and left. The suite fell quiet. The nanny gently took the baby to feed him. The nurse adjusted the settings on my pain pump and then left the bedroom. Helped me adjust the pain pump settings, then left the bedroom. I'm lying alone in this king-size bed, staring up at the crystal chandelier, and it all feels so surreal. Just hours ago, I was on that rusty metal-framed bed, breathing in the stench of urine from the bathroom, listening to the old man next door snore. A man had tossed me aside like trash. And now, I'm in the presidential suite of the city's best private hospital, surrounded by millions in medical equipment, with a professional team on call 24/7 outside my door. My account holds tens of millions, ready at my fingertips. And that man, he has no idea. He doesn't know that all his bank cards are frozen. He doesn't know his little secretary's presidential suite is getting evicted tomorrow. He doesn't know the nearly 10 million he transferred out has been intercepted by me. He doesn't know his marriage is about to implode. And he has no clue what's coming for him. A lawsuit that will bury him for good. He's clueless. Still dreaming. He dreams of being the fool who crushes me, takes my money, and lavishes it on another woman. I pick up my phone, scroll to his WeChat profile, and tap. I look at that photo of the 3 of us, the happy family. He insisted on taking it when I was 4 months pregnant. He said it was for memory, his arm around me, beaming. I'm leaning into him, smiling just as sweetly. Back then, I didn't know. I didn't know the man with that brilliant smile would, months later, dump me and his own child in a stinking 8-bed ward, then turn around and check into a hotel with another woman. I delete that photo. Then I change his contact name from husband to Jason Chen. Finally, I put the phone back on the nightstand, close my eyes, and sleep the first nightmare-free sleep of my life. 7 a.m. My phone vibrates, waking me. I look at the screen. It's Jason Chen calling. I hesitate for a second, then answer. "Vivian Su. Where the hell is my money?" His voice is frantic, furious, like a rabid dog that got its tail stomped on. "Why are all my cards frozen? Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea I have a client payment due today? You froze my accounts, ruining the deal. You'll pay." I let him rant, then speak slowly, my voice low, but every word is crystal clear. "Jason Chen, where did the 9.95 million you transferred last night go?" Dead silence on the other end. A tomb-like quiet. What are you saying?" he whispers. With a hint of unconcealable guilt, I ask you. Starting at 11:03 p.m. last night, you moved 9.95 million from our joint account. Where did it go? My tone is as calm as reading a menu. The Pei Xingyao Culture Media Company, Ltd. Legal representative, by Jiangwo. Bella Meng's older brother. Care to explain to me why your secretary's brother would open a company that has business dealings with my accounts? The other end of the line lets out a sharp, ragged breath. Then comes Jason Chen's voice, twisted with shock. You're investigating me? Vivian Su, you're actually investigating me? Are you even my wife anymore? What about basic trust? I'm speechless. The most basic trust between husband and wife? You left your wife in labor for your mistress. You talk to me about trust? You siphon your wife's savings, transfer by transfer, to your mistress's brother. You talk to me about trust? While your wife was in labor, you used my money to book a presidential suite for another woman. You talk to me about trust? Jason Chen, I say. I'm giving you two choices. One, right now, this instant, immediately. You confess everything you've done these past 3 years. Spill it all. Including your relationship with Bella Meng. Including where that 3,200,000 went. Including every single thing I don't know about. Then, we can part ways amicably. You sign the divorce papers, and I let you walk away with your dignity. And the second? His voice is clearly trembling now. Two, I say. I let my lawyers talk to you. When that happens, sign the divorce and return every stolen cent. With interest. Furthermore, I already have all the evidence I need on your embezzlement and marital infidelity. This stuff is enough to put you away for a good 10, 15 years. Your choice. On the other end of the line, silence for nearly 10 seconds. Then Jason Chen laughs. Not a happy laugh. It's a laugh bordering on collapse. On hysteria. Vivian Su. Who the hell do you think you are? His voice suddenly turns venomous. You think hiring some lawyer can do anything to me? Dirty money doesn't make you special. Listen. Your evidence is useless. So what if I transferred the money? It's our joint marital assets. I have the right to use it. Sue me. On what grounds? Do you have proof of me sleeping with Bella Meng? Do you have a recording of her admitting it? You've got nothing. Are you sure? I fire back. I'm absolutely sure. You're just a useless pregnant housewife who never leaves the house. What could you possibly find? What evidence could you get? Vivian Su, I'm warning you, be smart about this. Unfreeze the money, sign the divorce papers quietly. Or no money for you. You'll lose the baby, too. You won't take anything. My blood roared in my ears. A bastard. He called my son a bastard. I took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Jason Chen. I said, my voice so calm it scared even me. Every single word you just said. I recorded it all. Including the part about the bastard. You will pay for that. I hung up. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, but from rage. But I couldn't lose it. I couldn't lose control. I couldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. I picked up my phone. Recorded and backed up. Then, I opened WeChat. Found a message from Uncle Lee. It was a PDF file. The title, Compilation of Evidence, Jason Chen, and Bella Meng Cohabitation. I opened it. Scrolled page by page. Page 1. Screenshots of WeChat messages between Jason Chen and Bella Meng. Starting 3 months ago, getting progressively dirtier. From good work to miss you to see you tonight. Crystal clear. Every word. Page 2. Transfer records from Jason Chen to Bella Meng. From a few thousand to tens of thousands. The biggest one was 100,000. The memo read, Happy birthday, baby. Page 3. Hotel check-in records. Same hotel, same room number. Over the past 3 months. 11 times. Every single time, registered under Jason Chen's ID. Page 4. Screenshots from Bella Meng's WeChat moments. Set to visible to selected friends only. And my husband, who never posts anything, was on that list. In the photo, she's wearing that silk nightgown I recognize. Sitting by the floor-to-ceiling window of a hotel room. The caption, "It feels so good to be spoiled." Page 5. A video. I hit play. The footage was shaky. Like it was filmed secretly. Location, a hotel corridor. Time, last night, 11:20 p.m. Jason Chen, in the same dark blue suit from earlier that day. The two of them stepping out of the elevator. Laughing and talking as they walked to the room at the end of the hall. Bella Meng in a red spaghetti strap dress. Stiletto heels, practically draped all over him. The video ends with the hotel room door closing. I finished. Put down my phone. Closed my eyes. That last sliver of hope in my heart finally died. No time to grieve, I pick up my phone. I dial lawyer Jason Chen's number. "Mr. Zhang, I've decided to file." "Okay, Miss Su." "Grounds for the suit, marital infidelity, transfer of marital assets." "Bigamy." I say, "I've already sent the evidence to your email. Including his chat logs with the other woman, transfer records. Hotel check-in records, cohabitation videos, and this morning's recording of his threats and verbal abuse over the phone." "Understood. Do you have any specific demands?" "First, I want him to leave with nothing. Not a single penny. Second, I want him to pay me compensation for emotional distress. The maximum amount allowed by law. Third, I want every single ill-gotten cent he and that woman got together recovered. Fourth, I pause. I want him behind bars." Silence on the other end for a few seconds. "Miss Su. First three are easy, fourth needs a crime case." "It's much more difficult." "I know," I say. "That's why I've prepared another set of documents. Regarding that Starlight Culture Media Company, Limited. This company was incorporated less than 2 months ago. Has no real business operations. But received 9.95 million from my account 3 days ago. It also received 3.2 million from Jason Chen's personal account. Where did that money go? What was it used for? I need you to help me find out. If that money involves money laundering, embezzlement, or other economic crimes, then it's a criminal matter." Lawyer Zhang's voice suddenly turned serious. "Miss Su, do you have evidence for what you're saying?" "Yes. Bank statements, business registration information. I've sent it all to your email." "All right. Let me review it first. Then I'll get back to you." "Thank you." I hang up. I lean back against the headboard, letting out a long breath. Outside. The sun has fully risen. Golden sunlight fills the entire room. Nanny brings in the fed, content baby. "Miss Su, the baby's awake. Would you like to see him?" I reach out. The nanny places the soft little bundle into my arms. His eyes are open, dark and bright, seeming to look at me. Or perhaps, looking through me at something else. His tiny hand emerges from the swaddle, waving in the air a few times, then precisely grabs hold of my collar. I look down, gently kiss his forehead. "Baby," I say. "Mommy has something very important to do. Once it's done, no one will ever be able to bully us again." The baby yawns and closes his eyes. I take that as his agreement. 9 a.m. Lawyer Zhang Yunhai arrives promptly in the reception lounge on the top floor of Rueha Hospital. He entered in a tailored suit and glasses. In his hand was a sleek black briefcase. 2 assistants followed him in. The entire vibe of the room shifted. It went from a cozy family hospital suite to the serious atmosphere of a law firm. Uncle Lee showed them in. I had changed into fresh clothes and was sitting on the living room sofa, a steaming cup of my tea. Lawyer Zhang opened his briefcase, pulled out documents. "Miss Su, I've thoroughly reviewed all the evidence you provided." He adjusted his glasses, his tone steady. "It's exceptionally solid. Especially that hotel corridor surveillance footage. And the WeChat chat logs. That's irrefutable proof." "So, the lawsuit is ready to go?" Lawyer Zhang pulled a document from the stack. "This is the divorce petition. Please review it. I've highlighted key clauses." I scanned the petition. Clause 1, dissolution of the marital relationship. Clause 2, child custody goes to plaintiff, Vivian Su. The defendant, Jason Chen, shall pay monthly child support of 50,000 renminbi until the child reaches the age of 18. Clause 3. Equitable division of marital property. Defendant's marital fault, adultery, and dissipation of marital assets. The plaintiff demands the defendant be left with nothing, namely, all real estate, vehicles, deposits. Defendant's assets go to plaintiff. Clause 4. Defendant pays 5 million renminbi emotional damages. Clause 5. Defendant bears all litigation costs. I finished reading and looked up at lawyer Zhang. Clause 5. Change it to, the defendant shall bear all litigation costs and plaintiff's attorney fees. Zhang smiled. Good. I'll add that. Also, I added, in clause 3, all assets under the defendant's name. Change to assets under his name or control, including those properties he put in his mother's name. I know of 2, one in his hometown, one here in the city. Both were bought with my money. They just aren't in his name. Lawyer Zhang's eyes lit up. Can you provide evidence for that? Yes. Every single transfer record is still there. It adds up to 4.8 million. All from our joint account. Excellent. That makes things much easier. Zhang scribbled notes. Prop. Court can recover it. Case given to attorney Zhang. Thanks. Submit ASAP. We're preparing. We can submit it this afternoon. Attorney Zhang took the documents. He stood up. Miss Su, there's one more thing. Confirming criminal case filing. Go ahead. Attorney Zhang lowered his voice. Check Starlight Culture Media's bank transactions. Besides your 9.95 million and Jason Chen's 3.2 million, there were a few smaller deposits, totaling about 500,000. They all came from different accounts. Fund sources complex. Some personal accounts. Some from corporate accounts, and some even came through overseas accounts. I frowned. What are you implying? I mean, Attorney Zhang said slowly, this isn't just simple money laundering. There might be bigger problems behind it. I've already compiled the relevant materials. Submitting to Economic Crime Unit if case accepted. What Jason Chen faces won't just be civil compensation, but criminal liability. I was silent for a few seconds, then nodded. Do as you see fit. Attorney Zhang left. The reception room fell quiet. Uncle Lee brought hot soup. Time for soup, Mississippi. I took it. I took a sip. It was crucian carp soup, very fresh. Uncle Lee, I said, I need you to look into something for me. Of course. Jason's mom's 2 properties detailed. Address, square footage. Purchase date, payment method. The more detailed, the better. We're on it. Results this afternoon. I looked at Uncle Lee and suddenly said, Uncle Lee, did you know he would turn out like this all along? Uncle Lee was silent for a moment, then sighed. Young miss, 20 years with tangs. Seen all types. Some think you owe them despite giving gold. That son-in-law, Jason Chen. Exactly that person. How you treated him. He took it for granted, felt you lacking. That kind of person, trouble was bound to happen sooner or later. Then why didn't you tell me sooner? Uncle Lee gave a bitter smile. Young miss, I hinted at it many times. But every time, you'd say, he's not that kind of person. I fell silent. It was true. Uncle Lee had hinted many times. He'd mentioned Jason Chen too close to his secretary. He'd mentioned that Jason Chen's spending had become recklessly extravagant lately. He'd mentioned that Jason Chen's mother was bragging all over their hometown. She's been boasting to the whole village her son married rich. Now all the relatives are coming to her for loans, every single time. I kept saying, he's not that kind of person. Not because he isn't. I lean back on the sofa, closing my eyes. My mind is a complete mess. My phone vibrates. A text from the bank. Dear customer, your account ending in 6688 has received a large deposit. Amount, 9,950,000 renminbi. Successfully credited. For any inquiries, please contact customer service. That money? It's finally back. I stare at the text. Suddenly, I find it all a little funny. Jason Chen schemed and plotted. Stayed up late, waiting for the moment I was giving birth. To sneakily transfer the money out. He thought. He was so clever, covering his tracks perfectly. He thought I'd be too busy screaming in labor pain to even glance at my phone. What he didn't expect was that I not only saw it, I'd already called the main bank before he hung up. He thought I was that stupid woman he'd been conning for 3 years, still completely clueless. What he doesn't know is that when a mother wolf senses her cub is threatened, she'll tear out anyone's throat. 2 p.m. Uncle Lee walks into my suite, holding a thick file. Miss, all the documents you requested. I take the file and start flipping through. Page 1. Detailed info on the 2 properties under Jason's mom's name. One in their hometown county, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 120 SQM. Purchased 2 years ago. Total price, 680,000 renminbi. Paid in full. Another in the new district, 4BR, 2BA, 180 SQM. Purchased 1 year ago. Total price, 3.2 million RMB. Down payment, 1 million. Loan, 2.2 million. Monthly mortgage, 12,000 renminbi. Both properties were negotiated by Jason Chen. But the contracts, all in his mother's name. The money, all transferred from our joint account. Every single transaction, crystal clear. Page 2. The business registration info for the company under Jason's name. Registered capital, 5 million renminbi. Actually paid in capital, 0. Legal representative, Jason Chen. Shareholder, Jason Chen. Bella Meng. Bella Meng holds 10% of the shares. No actual capital contribution. Jason gifted shares, calling it a technical partnership. Page 3. Jason has spending records for the last 3 months. These are Chen Jingchuan's spending records for the last 3 months. Pulled straight from the bank and credit card statements. Shopping, hotels, flights, transfers, all added up. It comes to nearly 2 million. And just the transfers and shopping for Bella Meng. Nearly half of that. I closed the file and looked at Uncle Lee. Is this enough to bury him? Uncle Lee was silent for a moment, then said, Miss Vivian. It's not a question of enough. It's a question of how deep you want him buried. I nodded. Also, one more thing. Uncle Lee lowered his voice. Word from lawyer Zhang. The tip about the money case is under preliminary review. If it checks out, they'll file a formal case soon. How soon? 3 days at the earliest. A week at most. I took a deep breath. Good. 7 p.m. I was eating my postpartum meal when my phone started buzzing non-stop. I picked it up to look. It was Jason Chen calling. The 8th call today. I ignored the first 7. This one, I answered. Vivian Su. What the hell do you want? His voice was hoarse, like he'd been screaming all day. All my cards are frozen. The company accounts are locked. I can't even transfer the change in my WeChat wallet. What did you do? I picked up a piece of steamed sea bass. Chewed it slowly, and then spoke. Jason Chen. You were so tough this morning, weren't you? You said I couldn't touch you. What's wrong now? Can't even move your WeChat pocket change? He was panting with rage. Vivian Su. I'm warning you. If you don't unfreeze my money, I'm going to your parents. I'll tell them. Exactly how you're treating your husband. You'll tell them what? I cut him off. You'll tell them you abandoned me during childbirth to be with your mistress in a hotel? You'll tell them how you transferred my money, bit by bit, to your little secretary's brother? You'll tell them that while I was lying in an 8-bed ward, waiting to die, you were drinking champagne in the presidential suite? Jason Chen, go ahead. Go right now. I'd love to see. If you had the face to say any of that in front of my parents. On the other end of the line, there was a sharp intake of breath. Then a dull thud, like a fist hitting a wall. Vivian Su. You're vicious. His voice suddenly turned icy. You think you've won? Let me tell you, you've already lost. I swear, tomorrow, I'll go to the press. I'll tell them how the Su Group heiress abuses her husband. I'll tell them how cold and heartless you really are. How cold and heartless you are. What a completely unreasonable woman. Your company. Your reputation, everything you have will be ruined. Fine. I said, go ahead. Go to the media. Go to anyone you want. Say whatever you want. But let me remind you of one thing. Every single word you've said to me, I've recorded it. When you go to the media, I'll play these recordings. For them, word for word. When that happens, whose reputation will be ruined? You should have a good idea. Silence on the other end of the line. A long, heavy silence. Then, Jason Chen's voice suddenly went soft. Soft like a dying worm. Nianwei. I was wrong. He started crying his heart out. I shouldn't have done those things. I shouldn't have betrayed you. I shouldn't have taken your money. Give me one more chance, just one. I promise, I'll cut ties with Bella Meng. I'll return all the money to you. I'll do anything you say. Please, don't get a divorce. Don't sue me. Nianwei, we still have a child. Think about the baby. He can't grow up without a father. I listened to his sobs, but felt nothing inside. If this was yesterday, if he had called last night and said this, I might have softened. But not now. Because I had already seen that stack of evidence. I'd seen his chat logs with that woman. I'd seen every single transaction record. I'd seen the video of him walking into a hotel room, holding another woman. And I had already heard the words he said this morning. You won't even get to keep that bastard in your belly. He called my son a bastard. He called his own flesh and blood a bastard. This man. He doesn't deserve to be my child's father. Jason Chen, I said. Do you remember what you said this morning? What? What did I say? His voice was clearly guilty. You called my son a bastard. I didn't mean it like that. I was angry, spoke thoughtlessly. You called my son a bastard. You called your own son a bastard. I said each word slowly. From the moment you uttered those words, you ceased to be my son's father. You don't deserve it. I hung up, hand trembling slightly, heart steady. The nanny brought the baby, whispering. Miss Sue, the baby is hungry. It's time to feed him. I took the soft little bundle into my arms. He smelled his mother and his little mouth immediately nuzzled in, searching eagerly for the source. I opened my blouse. He latched on, and began to suckle vigorously, his tiny hand clutching my collar. As if to say, Mommy, don't be afraid. I'm here. I looked down, my held-back tears finally fell. One by one. Not because I felt wronged. Because my heart ached for this unborn little one. To think he got stuck with such an irresponsible father. It breaks my heart that in his future life, he'll be missing something called a father's love. But it's okay. He'll have it. Not from that man. He'll get it from me, from his grandparents. From everyone who truly loves him. He'll have the very best of everything in this world. Because starting today, I'm no longer that Vivian Sue, who compromised and suffered for the sake of love. I am Vivian Sue. I am a mother. I am a she-wolf backed into a corner, finally baring her fangs. 9 p.m. I finished feeding the baby, got him to sleep, and picked up my phone. I found Bella Meng's WeChat. I never added her. But Uncle Lee gave me her account. I sent a friend request. In the note, I wrote, "This is Vivian Sue." In less than 10 seconds, she accepted. And then, a barrage of messages exploded through. Sis, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. Jason was the one who came after me. Your marriage was bad, you were about to divorce anyway. I really didn't know you were pregnant, sis. I'm a victim too. He lied to me. I looked at that long string of crying emojis and apologies. And suddenly found it all hilarious. She didn't know I was pregnant? She touched my belly at the gala. Asked if I ate too much. She didn't know I was pregnant? Then what about the month before that, in Jason's office? When she saw that ultrasound report on his desk, it clearly said intrauterine pregnancy, single live fetus. Is she blind? She didn't know? Then what about yesterday? When my water broke and I was being wheeled into the hospital. Still posting sweet selfies. Caption, feeling so loved. She knows everything. But she doesn't care. Because in her world, only her own feelings matter. Everyone else is just background noise. Just tools. Just expendable. I didn't reply. No point. People like her aren't worth a single second of my time. But I screenshotted it. Every word. Every emoji. Every single punctuation mark. All saved. Everything she just said? In a courtroom, that's called an admission. She admitted it herself. She admitted she's involved with Jason Chen. She admitted it herself. She admitted she knows Jason Chen and I are not divorced. She admitted it herself. She's the victim. And since she's the victim, she'll repeat it in court. Opened my notes app and started a to-do list for the next week. First, finalize divorce lawsuit prep. Second, collect money laundering evidence. Third, compile a detailed list of all assets under Jason Chen's name, including the properties registered under his mother's name. Fourth, confirm Bella's start date, contract details, and salary. Upgrade hospital suite security, ensuring no one can enter the area without permission. Sixth, call my parents and tell them everything, including Jason's affair, the asset transfers, him calling our child a bastard, all of it. Seventh, find myself a therapist. Not because I'm crazy. I need to know it's okay to cry. I finished the list, put down my phone. Moonlight fell on his sleeping face. Light streamed through the window. I watched him for a long time. Then, I closed my eyes and slept. There's a lot to do tomorrow, but tonight, I just want a good night's sleep. The next morning, I was woken up by urgent knocking on the door. The nanny returned uneasy. Miss Sue, there are two people outside. They say they're Jason Chen's lawyers. They want to see you. I paused for a second, then laughed. Jason Chen's lawyers? He can still afford lawyers? Tell them to wait in the sitting room. I'll be there after I change. 10 minutes later, in my loungewear, I sat on the sofa in the sitting room. Across from me were two men in sharp suits. One was older, in his 50s, hair perfectly combed, expression stern. The other was younger, early 30s, wearing glasses, holding a briefcase. The older one spoke first. Miss Sue, good morning. I am Mr. Jason Chen's attorney. Zhao. This is my associate. I nodded. Attorney Zhao. Attorney Zhao cleared his throat, took a document from his briefcase, placed it on the coffee table, and slid it toward me. Miss Sue. This is the draft divorce agreement Mr. Jason Chen has asked me to present to you. Please review it. I picked up the document and opened it. The first page. Divide assets by law. Including one property in the East End, which goes to the wife. One property in the West End goes to the husband. Joint savings of 5 million RMB. Each party gets 2.5 million. I keep reading. Page 2. Child custody arrangement. Child to mother, father pays. Monthly child support of 3,000 RMB. Until the child turns 18. The father gets visitation rights once a week. Specific times. To be mutually agreed upon. Page 3. Other matters. All other assets held in each party's own name remain with that party. No further claims. I finished the 3 pages, closed the file, and put it back on the coffee table. I look up at Lawyer Zhao. Lawyer Zhao, I say, this agreement was brought here by Jason Chen's instructions? Yes. Did he tell you why he wants a divorce? Lawyer Zhao hesitates. Mr. Chen said, your relationship has broken down. You can no longer live together. Relationship broken down. I laugh. Lawyer Zhao. You know what? 2 nights ago, at 11, my water broke. I was in labor. Jason Chen drove me to the hospital. Dumped me in 8-bed ward, went to Grand Hyatt. Used joint account for $100,000 deposit. To book a presidential suite for his secretary. He spent the whole night in that suite. With his little secretary. And me? I was lying in that 8-bed ward. Smelling bathroom stench, hearing snoring. Alone, waiting to give birth. Lawyer Zhao's face changes. Miss Su, these details, he tries to cut me off. Lawyer Zhao. I cut him off. No need to rush to your client's defense. I just want you to know, your client lied to you. He doesn't want a divorce because our relationship broke down. He's trying to hide assets while I'm giving birth. Got caught, and now he's panicking, trying to use this agreement to cover his tracks. I push the file back towards him. I'm not signing this. You go back and tell Jason Chen. If he wants a divorce, he can come and tell me himself. Don't hide behind his lawyer. Don't think sending some suit is gonna scare me. I don't play that game. Lawyer Zhao is silent for a few seconds. He puts the file back in his briefcase and stands up. Ms. Su, I will convey your message to Mr. Chen. But I suggest you still consider settlement possible, litigation costly, and benefits no one. Lawyer Zhao, I say. Do you know what it means to leave with nothing? Zhao froze for a second. Let me tell you something. Clean break means everything under Jason Chen's name. The car he drives, the apartment he lives in, the watch on his wrist, the clothes on his back. It's all mine. He won't get a single penny. That's my condition. Go back and tell him. If he agrees, I'll sign the papers. If not, we'll see him in court. Zhao looked at me, his expression complicated. He'd rarely seen a client like me in his 20-year career. A woman who just gave birth. Less than 48 hours postpartum, lying in a hospital bed. Laying down terms to the opposing counsel, calmer than he was. Miss Su, Zhao finally said. I'll convey your message. They left. The visiting room fell silent. Uncle Lee walked in with a bowl of chicken soup and set it before me. Miss, I heard everything you just said. He looked at me, his eyes slightly red. You've grown up. I picked up the bowl, took a sip of the soup, and said nothing. Not grown up. Forced to grow up. When you have no one behind you, you have no choice but to be strong. But I knew I wasn't alone. I have my baby. I have Uncle Lee. I have Mom and Dad. I have the entire Su group backing me. And what does Jason Chen have? A gold-digging mistress who only spends his money. A lawyer. He's got wrapped around his finger. And a bunch of bank cards. That are about to become worthless plastic. Who wins, who loses? There was never any doubt from the start. 3 p.m. Attorney Zhang called. Ms. Su. The court has officially accepted the filing. The hearing is scheduled for the 15th of next month. That fast? Your evidence is so overwhelming, the court didn't hesitate at all. Attorney Zhang's voice held a hint of pride. The Economic Crime Unit has news. The money laundering case against Starry Glory Media is progressing. Has been formally filed. Jason Chen and Bai Jiangwo. Both are now criminal suspects and will likely be summoned soon. What about Bella Meng? Bella Meng hasn't been listed as a suspect yet, but as a person of interest, she'll definitely be investigated. And once Bai Jiangwo is arrested, as his direct relative, she'll definitely be implicated. Good. I said, Attorney Zhang, thank you for your hard work. It's my job. Also, Miss Su, there's one more thing I should mention. Go ahead. Jason Chen is now backed into a corner. Chen Jingchuan is now backed into a corner. A man that desperate will do anything. You need to be careful. Especially for the baby's safety. I understand. Thank you. Hangs up the phone and looks out the window. The city sky is a gloomy gray, like it's about to rain. I pick up my phone. Scroll to Jason Chen's WeChat. Open the chat window, type a line. Jason Chen. ECIU filed the case. Turn back now. There's still time. I stare at those words for a long time. Then I delete them. He's not worth it. A man like him isn't worth a single word of kindness from me. I put the phone back on the nightstand, walked to the crib. Look at the little one sleeping so soundly. His tiny mouth is slightly pouted, breathing evenly. His eyelashes, long and curled, like two little fans. I reach out. Gently touch his cheek. He moves his little mouth. Like he's nursing in his dream. I whisper, Mommy won't let anyone hurt you. Anyone. I lean down, press. Kiss his forehead, then leave the room. Pick up my phone, dial a number. Uncle Wang? It's me, Nianwei. How are you? Recovering well? I'm good, thank you for asking. Uncle Wang, I need to ask for another favor. Go ahead. All the assets under Jason Chen's name. Including those 2 apartments he put under his mother's name. I'd like you to help me investigate them. See if there are any other hidden assets. For example, has he opened accounts under other people's names? Has he bought any financial products? Has he invested in any projects? Silence on the other end for a few seconds. Nianwei. You're really going for the kill. Uncle Wang. I say, it's not me going for the kill. He struck first. He transferred assets while I was giving birth. Tried to take all my money, leave me with nothing. If I hadn't found out in time. If I hadn't called, the one in that ward. Crying and penniless, would be me. He won't admit he's wrong, and now he's threatening me. Says he'll go to the media, ruin my reputation. Wants to destroy me completely. Uncle Wang, a man like that. If I don't crush him, he'll come back to crush me. Uncle Wang is silent for a long time. Finally, he says, I understand. I'll look into it for you. Thank you, Uncle Wang. Hangs up the phone and stands by the floor-to-ceiling window. Look out at the city. In the distance, the sun is setting. The sky is stained a bloody red. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again. But that sun, it won't shine on Jason Chen anymore. His world will now be plunged into eternal darkness. 7 in the evening, I was having dinner when my phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello? Is this Vivian Su? A young woman's voice, choked with sobs. Yes. Who is this? This is Bella Meng. She started crying. Vivian, please, have mercy on me. I really didn't know he was married. I thought he was single. He told me he was divorced. He said your marriage was just for show. That you had no feelings left for each other. Please. I was tricked too. I'm a victim here. I put down my fork. Leaned back in my chair. Bella Meng. You say you didn't know he was married. I really didn't know. He told me he was single. When we were together. He never once mentioned you. He? Bella Meng, I cut her off. You worked at Su Corporation for a year. In your employee file, it was clearly written. Spouse's name, Jason Chen. Vivian Su. Every day you walked past the reception desk. On the wall behind it, hanging in the company executive's photo, there was a picture of me with your boss. Silence on the other end. Bella Meng. You say you didn't know I was pregnant? When you touched my stomach and said, wow, your belly is so big, sis, did you eat too much? Your hand was on my 7 months pregnant belly. And you say, you didn't know I was pregnant? Bella Meng. That presidential suite selfie you posted on your socials yesterday. Caption, feeling so loved. Do you know? Whose money paid for that presidential suite? It was my money. Do you know? Who paid for that silk nightgown you're wearing? It was my money. Do you know about that bag in your hand? That lipstick on your face, those shoes on your feet? Whose money? All my money. You're spending my money. Sleeping with my husband, and while I'm giving birth. You're bragging online and call yourself the victim? Bella Meng was sobbing hysterically. Vivian, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I shouldn't have been with him. I shouldn't have spent your money. Please, don't sue me. Don't send me to jail. I'm only 23. My life has just begun. Bella Meng, I said. Your life has just begun? Then what about my life? Wasn't it just beginning too? I spent 3 years. Loving a man who wasn't worth it, bore his child. I almost died from his coldness and betrayal. You say your life is just beginning, but what about mine? Shouldn't my life start over too? Bella Meng, I'm not going to sue you. Because you're not even worth my time or energy. But remember this one thing, from today on, stay out of my life. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't even try to get near me or my child. If you dare show your face around me, I'll make you know what real regret feels like. I hung up, my hand was shaking, but my heart was steady. The postpartum nanny brought the baby over. Miss Sue, it's time to change the baby's diaper. I took the baby, laid him on the couch, and fumbled through changing his diaper. He was kicking his little legs, not cooperating at all, making fussy little grunts. I finally got it changed, all flustered. Picked him up, patted his back softly. He let out a little burp, and then settled down. His tiny hand grabbed my collar. His eyes half open, half closed, looking at me. Baby, I said. When you grow up, you have to be an honest person. Don't lie. Don't betray the people who are truly good to you. The baby yawned. I took that as him understanding. 9 at night. The baby was asleep. I lay in bed, tossing and turning, sleepless with memories. The first time we met was at a friend's party. He wore a white shirt, had a gentle smile, spoke softly, and gave off this vibe of being really dependable. Our first date, he took me to a street food stall. Said all those fancy restaurants were fake. That real feelings. Didn't need all that flashy stuff. He seemed down to earth, not showy like others. The first time we held hands was in a movie theater. He pretended to reach for popcorn, his hand brushed mine, and then it just stayed there. My heart raced. My face flushed. He looked at me and smiled, said my hands were so cold. Our first kiss was in his car, when he was driving me home. He suddenly leaned over and kissed me. It was light, gentle, like a dragonfly skimming the water. I was completely stunned. He smiled and said my lips were so soft. Our first fight was because I found out he was still in touch with his ex. He said they were just friends, and I believed him. Our first makeup, he bought 999 roses. Filled my entire living room with them. He said he truly loved me, begged me not to doubt him. I cried. I said I believed him. The first time I met his parents was 6 months into our relationship. His parents were so nice to me. His mom took my hand and said, Nianwei, dear, Jingchuan, this boy, he has his flaws, but his heart's in the right place. Be patient with him. I said, Auntie, don't worry. I'll take good care of him. He was the one who first brought up marriage. That day, he drank a lot, got down on his knees in front of me, and said, Vivian, marry me. I'll only love you for the rest of my life. I cried and said yes. On our wedding day, he cried. I cried too. My parents were sitting in the audience, also in tears. My mom said, my daughter has finally found her happiness. Looking back now, half of those tears were wasted, because all that happiness, from beginning to end, was a lie. His tenderness was fake. His thoughtfulness was fake. His tears were fake. Only his greed, selfishness, hypocrisy, and betrayal were real. I turned over and looked at the moon outside the window. It was full and bright, shining on the floor, like a layer of frost. I suddenly remembered a poem. The bright moon rises, we share this moment though far apart. What is Jason Chen doing? Is he zoning out in some rented room? Is he being kicked out of some hotel lobby? Is he wandering the streets like a stray dog? Or is he in his little secretary's apartment, holding her and crying, saying, that crazy woman is trying to ruin me? I don't know. And I don't care. Because from today on, everything about him is none of my business. He's not my husband, not my child's father, not anything of mine. He's just a part of my past that I'm about to crush into the dirt. I closed my eyes and finally fell asleep. The next morning, I was woken up by the sound of an urgent phone ringing. I picked it up. It was my mom. Vivian. My mom's voice was frantic and furious. That scumbag, Jason Chen. He's kneeling at the company entrance, demanding to see your dad. He wants to explain. I paused, then laughed. Jason Chen. You're full of surprises. Can't get to the hospital. So you go to the company. Can't see me, so you go see my parents. You think kneeling at the door will make my dad soften up? You think a few crocodile tears will make my mom speak up for you? You really don't know the Sue family. Mom, don't panic. I'll handle it. Handle what? You just gave birth. Rest up, don't worry. Mom was fuming. Your dad already had someone throw him out. If he dares come back, we're calling the police. Mom, tell Dad not to. Let me handle it. You. Yes. Me. I hung up. And called lawyer Zhang. Jason Chen caused a scene at my parents' company. He was kneeling, demanding to see them. I'd like you to send him a cease and desist letter. Tell him, if he approaches my family again, I will file for a restraining order. On grounds of harassment and threats. Understood. I'll handle it right away, Miss Sue. Also, I need to ask. Is there any progress on the money laundering case? Yes. The Economic Crime Investigation Unit, summoned by Jiang Wo for questioning this morning. He confessed to some things. Things that are very damaging for Jason Chen. What did he say? Bai Jiang Wo stated that the money was given to him by Jason Chen to launder. He only knew the money was dirty. He didn't know the specific source. Jason Chen promised him a 10% commission. So he helped set up that shell company. Is there a recording? Yes. By Jiang Wo's interrogation audio. Once the case moves into the judicial phase, all of it will be admissible as evidence. Good. Attorney Zhang. Thanks for your work. Hangs up, looks out window. The sun is shining so brightly. Jason Chen. Do you really think kneeling outside my parents' company will change anything? Do you think a few crocodile tears and my parents will soften, will plead your case to me? You think I'll forgive you? You're naive. You forgot one thing. You forgot the words you said. You called my son a bastard. Those words. I'll never forget. Not in this lifetime. No matter how you beg, cry, or kneel, I won't forgive you. Never. 10 a.m. Uncle Lee walks in with a file. Miss. We've heard back from President Wang at the bank. All of Jason Chen's hidden assets have been fully uncovered. I take the file and open it. The first page details the two properties under his mother's name. It's pretty much what I already knew. The second page shows a stock trading account Jason opened using his cousin's name. It holds stocks worth roughly 1.2 million, all purchased within the last 6 months. The source of funds? Our joint account. The third page details a restaurant project he invested in using his college roommate's name. Total investment, 2 million. His stake, 30%. The investment was made 8 months ago. Source of funds? Again, our joint account. The fourth page. A car he bought under his ex-girlfriend's name. A BMW X5. Paid in full, 800,000. Purchased last year. And guess what? Our joint account. I close the file. I look at Uncle Lee. His ex-girlfriend is, Uncle Lee says, it's the same ex you discovered he was still in contact with. He bought the car for her. It's registered in her name. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Good. Just great. Using my money to buy a luxury car for his ex. Opening a stock account in his cousin's name, with my money. Investing in a project under his classmate's name, with my money. Buying a house in his mother's name, with my money. Keeping a mistress, showering her with bags, watches, lipstick. Jason Chen. Just how many more secrets are you hiding from me, Uncle Lee? I said, gather all of this and send it to Attorney Zhang. Already on it. And one more thing, I said. Help me look into this. Check if Jason Chen is still in contact with his ex-girlfriend. And find out who is driving that car now. All right. Uncle Lee left. I leaned back on the sofa. Staring at the ceiling, my mind was a complete mess. I thought I already knew the whole truth. Turns out it was just the tip of the iceberg. This man. How much did he really lie to me? How many more secrets are there that I don't know? I picked up my phone. Scrolled to Jason Chen's WeChat. Opened the chat window, typed a line. Jason Chen, you used my money. To buy your ex-girlfriend a BMW X5. Then I sent it. Less than 10 seconds later, his call came through. Vivian Sue. How did you know? His voice was trembling. Don't you worry about how I know. Just answer me. Is it true? That car, it was just a loan to her. She was in a bind. Jason Chen. I cut him off. Your ex-girlfriend. You broke up 5 years ago. She was in a bind, so she needed you to buy her an $80,000 BMW? You think I'm a 3-year-old? And that stock account, under your cousin's name. Where did the money in there come from? That was my money. I saved it up myself. You saved it up yourself? You earn $20,000 per month. How'd you save $1.2 million? Tell me. How? Silence on the other end of the line. And that restaurant project. The $200,000 investment. Where did that money come from? Jason Chen. Do you think I'm that easy to fool? Do you really think you can transfer money out, put it under other people's names, and I wouldn't find out? Do you actually believe that Vivian Sue, just a dumb woman who only knows how to have babies and spend, and get played for a fool by you? You're wrong. I said, I didn't just uncover these things. I found more. Guess what I'll find out next? From the phone came the sound of ragged breathing, then a dull thud. Like a phone hitting the floor. Then a dial tone. He hung up. I put down my phone. Picked up the red date tea and sipped. It was cold. The nanny brought out a bowl of hot chicken soup. Miss Sue, the soup's ready. Drink it while it's hot. I took the bowl. Took a sip. Warm and comforting. Miss Sue. The nanny hesitated. That phone call just now, are you okay? I'm fine, I said. Just handling some domestic matters. The nanny nodded. She's a smart one. Knows what to ask and what to leave alone. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, lawyer Zhang called. Miss Sue. Good news. Go on. The Economic Crime Investigation Unit has officially arrested Bai Jiangwo. The charge is money laundering. During interrogation, Bai Jiangwo confessed that all that money was what Chen Jingchuan asked him to launder. Chen Jingchuan told him it was off-the-books income, couldn't go through normal channels. What else did he confess? He also said Chen Jingchuan had him set up Xingyao Culture Media Company, Ltd. That one shell company. There were 2 others. One was a trading company, the other, a consulting firm. Both registered under different names. Those 2 companies also had fund transfers. But so far, we haven't found any direct links to your accounts? Their funding source? What we've traced so far is mainly money transferred out from Chen Jingchuan's company account. As you know, although that company is under Chen Jingchuan's name, the actual investor is still you. So, strictly speaking, that money is also yours. I was silent for a few seconds. Lawyer Zhang, are you saying Chen Jingchuan is not only siphoning off our marital assets, he's also embezzling company funds? You could put it that way. So with those 2 combined, how long is he looking at? Lawyer Zhang was quiet for a moment, then said, Miss Sue. That's not a question I can properly answer over the phone. But I can tell you, if all these charges stick, the time he's facing won't be short. I nodded. Even though I knew he couldn't see it. All right, Lawyer Zhang. Keep on it. Update me on any new developments. Of course, Miss Sue. I hung up. I looked out the window at the sky. The sun was blinding. I squinted. Jason Chen. You thought you were so clever, didn't you? You thought using different names, different companies, different accounts would wash that money spotless. You thought Vivian Sue was just some housewife who could pop out babies and wait on you hand and foot. You're wrong. Vivian Sue grew up in her father's company. 20 years in the business, I've seen it all. I've seen money laundering schemes far more complex than yours. And I've met con artists 1,000 times slicker than you. All your little tricks, in my eyes, are as laughable as kids playing house. I just couldn't be bothered to expose you. I wanted to see just how low you could sink. Now I see it all. So, next, it's my turn. 7 p.m. I finished feeding the baby, got him to sleep, and picked up my phone. I scrolled to Jason Chen's mother's, my mother-in-law's, contact. I hesitated for a long time. Finally, I typed a message, Mom. How much do you know about what Jingchuan has done? In less than a minute, she replied, Vivian, dear. Jingchuan did mess up. But he knows he was wrong. Can't you just forgive him this once? All couples fight. What happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom. For the baby's sake, just give him another chance. Reading that, I suddenly felt like laughing. So she knew everything. She knew her son was cheating. She knew he was hiding assets. She knew her son abandoned his pregnant wife at the hospital to be with his mistress. But she didn't care. What she cares about is that her son's marriage doesn't fall apart. That her son doesn't lose everything in a divorce or go to jail. She never cared about me. Mom, I typed another line. Did you know your son used my money to buy an apartment? In your name? The typing indicator appeared for a long time. Then it vanished. Then it appeared again. Then vanished again. Finally, a message came through. That apartment is Jingchuan's gift to me, to show his filial piety. What's that got to do with you? I saw those words and laughed. So that's how it is. In her mind, that money wasn't mine. It was her son's. I spent millions to buy my mother-in-law an apartment in her name. And in her eyes, it's her son who was being filial. It has nothing to do with me. Fine. Perfect. Mom, I typed one last line. That apartment? The court will award it back to me. When that happens, you might have to move out. Just giving you a heads up. My apologies. Then, I deleted her contact. Not blocked. Deleted. Because starting today, she is no longer my mother-in-law. She's just an old lady about to lose her home. I don't need to block her. Because she won't have a way to contact me again. 9 p.m. Uncle Lee walked in, holding a file. Miss, the car you asked me to look into, I've got the details. I took the file and opened it. It was a BMW X5. Dark blue. Bought last year, paid in full for $800,000. The registered owner is a woman named Linwan. Linwan. Chen Jingchuan's ex-girlfriend. The photos show that in the last 3 months, that car spotted in a high-end parking lot. And the registered residents of that complex are Linwan and her new boyfriend. Chen Jingchuan used my money to buy his ex-girlfriend an 800,000 yuan BMW. And then, she drives that car to date her new beau. And Chen Jingchuan not only doesn't feel like a loser, he's actually proud of it. Because he can play the big spender in front of his ex. He can show off in front of her new man. He can say, look, she drives a car I gave her. He's not even a gold digger. Uncle Lee. I said, send all of this to Attorney Zhang as well. Okay. Uncle Lee left. I sat alone on the sofa, looking at the city lights. Traffic flowing, everyone busy with their own lives. No one knew that in some corner of the city, a woman who just gave birth was personally. I sent my ex to prison. Some call me ruthless. Some say I'm heartless. Some say I hold no regard for the past, no care for our past. But I ask one thing. Did he, Chen Jingchuan, did he ever care we were once husband and wife? When his wife's water broke, he abandoned her to go to the hospital. He spent my money on his mistress. Buy his ex a car, buy his mom a house. Did he care that we were once husband and wife? When his wife was lying in an 8-bed ward waiting to die, he was in a suite, drinking, posting online with another woman. Did he care for the past? He did not. So, why should I? Just because I'm a woman, I'm supposed to be magnanimous, forgiving, understanding? Just because I'm the child's mother, I'm supposed to swallow my anger, sacrifice myself, hold this family together for the child's sake? On what planet? I, Vivian Su, oh no one. I never did anything to wrong him. I never betrayed our marriage. I never hurt our family or my conscience. So, I have zero obligation to forgive someone who hurt me. Zero obligation. The next morning, I had just woken up when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Chen Jingchuan. Nianwei, I know I was wrong. I don't ask forgiveness, but for our child's sake. Give me one chance to meet. Let's talk face to face, okay? Just once. I look at this text. And I feel absolutely nothing. A meeting? Why should we meet? What can't go through a lawyer? That can't be settled in court? You just want to beg me in person. Cry in my face, get on your knees, and then make me soften. Make me drop the charges, make me let you off the hook. Do you think I'm still the Vivian Su from 3 months ago? Do you think I'm still that gullible woman who'd melt? With a few sweet words and some crocodile tears? You're wrong. The Vivian Su from 3 months ago was killed by you. The Vivian Su alive now. Crawled out of an 8-bed ward. Was cut open on an operating table, and watched her husband betray her with her own eyes. This Vivian Su doesn't soften. She never will. I didn't reply. I washed up, ate, then handled company work. Fed the baby, then opened my laptop. Even on maternity leave, I manage business. I can't just ignore the company. The Su Group has over a dozen factories nationwide. Billions in annual revenue, tens of thousands of employees. I'm the sole heir. I can't throw all that away over one scumbag. At 10 a.m., I held a video conference with a few of the company's top executives. We discussed next quarter's production plan. After the meeting, I rested. My phone buzzed. This time, it was an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello? Is this Vivian Su? A middle-aged woman's voice, heavy with an accent. Yes, it is. Who is this? I'm Jingchuan's mother. Her voice was frantic and angry. Nianwei, dear. How could you delete me on WeChat? I'm your mother-in-law. How could you, Auntie? I cut her off. You're not my mother-in-law anymore. Your son and I are already going through a divorce. Divorce? What divorce? I don't agree. She snapped. You have a child. How can you get a divorce? Besides, yes, Jingchuan messed up. But he knows he was wrong. Can't you forgive him just this once? All couples fight. You're trying to ruin him. Auntie, I said, I'm not ruining him. He ruined himself. What kind of talk is that? Clearly you're the one suing him. Trying to put him in jail. How is that not ruining him? Auntie, your son, while I was giving birth, transferred nearly $10 million of our marital assets. This isn't a couples fight. It's a crime. Do you understand? A crime. Crime, schmime. That's all your money anyway. Not broke, are you? It's his spent money. Why jail? Send him to prison? I close my eyes, take a deep breath. That little money could lock your son up for a very long time. If you truly care about him, you'd convince him to turn himself in. Make him cough up every single cent he stole. Maybe they'll go easier. Turn himself in? Give up the apartment? I've lived there over half a year. Give it up? Give it to where? Her voice turns shrill. Vivian Su, listen to me. If you dare press charges against my son, I'll go to the media. I'll tell them everything. I'll tell them how you're bullying a poor widow and her son. I'll let the whole world see how the great heiress of the Su Group is driving her own husband to ruin. Auntie, I say. Go ahead. Go to the media. Just make sure you bring your son's chat logs with that woman. Hotel receipts. Bank records. Let reporters see exactly what kind of man your son really is. Let them see how the Su Group heiress was betrayed and destroyed by her own husband. You, Auntie, I have to go. Take care of yourself. I hang up. My hand isn't shaking anymore. My mind isn't in chaos. Because I finally figured it out. Some people, no matter how good you are to them, they'll always think you owe them. Give them a mountain of gold. They'll complain it's not enough. Sacrifice everything for them. They'll say you didn't do enough. People like that. They're not worth a single tear. Not one. 3 p.m. Attorney Zhang calls. Miss Su? Good news. Go on. The Economic Crime Investigation Unit has officially summoned Jason Chen for questioning. I pause. Summoned? Yes. At 2 p.m. today. Jason Chen was taken to the unit. He's being interrogated right now. Has he confessed? Not yet. But his reaction has been volatile. Very emotionally unstable. According to inside sources, he initially denied everything. But when they played by Jiang Wo's interrogation, he broke down. Yes. He cried. Sobbed like a baby. He claims the money. It wasn't his idea to launder it. That by Jiang Wo approached him. He says he didn't know the money was illegal. He just wanted to move it to a safe place. Do they believe him? I ask. The investigators don't. And neither do I. I laugh softly. I don't believe him either. So, Attorney Zhang says, now it's just a matter of procedure. Once Jason Chen is formally arrested, the divorce proceedings will move much faster. Because by law, if one party is in a criminal case, the court prioritizes the divorce petition filed by the other party. To not interfere with the case, I'll talk. Attorney Zhang, thank you for your hard work. It's my job. Miss Su, you just focus on recovering. Leave the rest to me. After hanging up, I stared out the window at the sky. Golden sunset glow. So beautiful. I scrolled my phone, found that photo. The one of our family of 3. It was taken when I was 4 months pregnant. His arm was around my shoulder, beaming that big smile. I was leaning into his chest, smiling just as sweetly. I stared at that picture for the longest time. And then, I tapped delete. It was gone. Just like that marriage, vanished. I put the phone down. Walked over to the crib and looked at the little one. Sleeping so soundly. His tiny hand peeked out from the blanket. All 5 fingers curled up tight. I reached out and gently touched his fingertip. His little fingers clamped my finger with surprising strength. I whispered, you have to grow up to be a good man. Don't lie. Don't betray the people who truly care about you. The baby's mouth twitched, as if saying, Mommy. I got it. I smiled. And as I smiled, tears fell. Not from sadness, but from release. That nightmare of a marriage is finally ending. That man is finally being erased from my life. And I can finally start over. Night fell. Across the city, lights flickered on one by one. I watched the glittering cityscape. Thinking, from tomorrow on, everything is different. I'm not that Sun Yanwei who sacrificed everything for love anymore. I'm not that Sun Yanwei who was betrayed, lied to, and hurt by her husband. I'm not that Sun Yanwei lying in an 8-bed ward, smelling the toilets, waiting to die alone. Starting tomorrow, I am Sun Yanwei. A brand new, independent, strong Sun Yanwei. A Sun Yanwei who can protect herself, protect her child, protect her family. A self-reliant Sun Yanwei, pleasing no one. Doesn't need to sacrifice herself for anyone. A truly free woman. I turned around and looked at the little one in the crib, sleeping so peacefully. His little lips slightly pouted, breathing evenly. I leaned down and placed a kiss on his forehead. Good night, baby. Good night to the past. Hello, future. The city outside the window blazed with light. A new day is about to begin. And that man? Jason Chen. Another sleepless night in the dim interrogation room. He spent another sleepless night. He'll live for years without freedom. No dignity, and no light. He'll miss his son growing up. He'll miss his son's first smile, first crawl. First word mama. He'll miss everything, because all of this is a choice he made himself. You reap what you sow. He sowed the seeds of betrayal, deceit, and greed. So he deserves to harvest the loss of freedom, family. I drew the curtains, turned off the light. And as I lay down in bed and closed my eyes, a thought came to me, every exceptional person goes through a period of silence. A time when you put in immense effort, endure loneliness and solitude. Without complaint, without self-pity. Days that, when you look back, even move yourself to tears. That silent period I've already survived it. Now. It's my time to shine. I turned over, a faint smile curling at the corner of my mouth. Jason Chen, thank you. You taught me a lesson. This lesson is called, never trust someone who says they love you with their mouth. Their heart schemes against you. An expensive lesson. 9.95 million. But I can afford it. And what's more, I'll make you pay it back with interest. Every single cent. I closed my eyes and finally fell into a deep sleep. This time, no nightmares. The nightmare is over. 3 days later, Jason Chen was formally arrested. Charges, misappropriation, money laundering. Amount, 13.15 million. Of that, 9.95 million was transferred from our joint account. 3.2 million was embezzled from his company's accounts. Combined, that's enough to put him away for a very long time. A week later, the divorce trial began. Jason Chen, wearing a bright orange jail jumpsuit. He was escorted in, saw me in the plaintiff's seat. His eyes were a complex mix, hatred, resentment, regret, bitterness. Everything but love, because there never was any love to begin with. The judge read the petition. He asked Jason Chen if he agreed to the divorce. He was silent for a long time. Finally, he said, I don't agree. The judge asked him why. Our relationship isn't broken. I just made some mistakes. I'm willing to change. And we have a child. A child needs his father. Sitting there in the plaintiff's seat, listening to his words, I felt absolutely nothing. Because I knew, he doesn't want to avoid the divorce. He's trying to buy time. To find a way to turn the tables. He won't get that chance. The judge then asked for my position. I stood, faced the judge, and declared. I am requesting a divorce for 3 reasons. First, during our marriage, the defendant engaged in an extramarital affair. I have WeChat logs, hotel records, and money transfers as proof. Second, while I was in labor, the defendant abandoned me at a substandard public hospital and went to a hotel to cohabitate with another woman. I have surveillance footage as proof. Third, on the night I gave birth, the defendant unilaterally transferred nearly 10 million yuan in marital assets, proven. All 3 points are irreconcilable differences. And divorce should be granted. The judge nodded. He then asked Jason Chen, do you have any objections to these charges? Jason Chen's face turned beet red. His lips trembled for a long moment before he finally managed. That was my money, he said. The judge ignored him and moved on to the matter of asset division. My lawyer, Zhang Yunhai, stood up. He presented a complete list of Jason Chen's assets, their sources, and their destinations, including the 2 properties under his mother's name, including the stock account under his cousin's name, including the restaurant venture under his classmate's name, including that BMW registered under his ex-girlfriend's name. Every item had bank statements as proof. Every cent came from my account. Jason Chen's face grew paler and paler. By the end, he was practically transparent. He probably never imagined I would dig this deep. He probably never imagined I would have this much evidence. He probably never imagined that the woman he thought was only good for having babies and serving him, that fool, would stand in court. He detailed it all, point by point, transaction by transaction. He tore his facade to shreds. The judge announced the verdict. Divorce granted. The child is to be under the custody of the plaintiff, Vivian Su. The defendant, Jason Chen, shall pay monthly child support of 50,000 renminbi until the child reaches the age of 18. All marital assets are awarded to the plaintiff, Vivian Su, including those 2 properties, that stock account, that restaurant venture, and that BMW. The defendant, Jason Chen, he shall pay Vivian Su emotional distress compensation in the amount of 5 million RMB. All court costs for this case shall be borne by the defendant, Jason Chen. The court is adjourned. Bailiffs escorted Jason Chen out of the courtroom. He paused at the door, turned back, and looked straight at me. He said one thing, Vivian Su. You'll regret this. I looked back at him and just smiled. Jason Chen. I already do. I regret the day I ever married you. They led him away. The courtroom doors slammed shut. I sat in the plaintiff's chair and let out a long, slow breath. It's over. It's finally all over. Lawyer Zhang walked over. He extended his hand. Miss Su, congratulations. I shook it. Thank you, Lawyer Zhang. It was my duty. He smiled. Next, we handle the criminal case. That one will be even more spectacular. I nodded. Leaving court, sun blinding. Uncle Lee stood by the car. Seeing me, he rushed forward. Young miss, let's go home, I said. The car moved through the city streets. The scenery outside the window blurred past, frame by frame. I leaned back in the seat. Closing my eyes, a sudden image flashed in my mind. 3 years ago. Our wedding day. He was in a white tuxedo. I wore a white gown. He held my hand, walking down the aisle. He cried. I cried too. Nianwei, I'll love you forever, I said. I believe you. Thinking about it now, that line? He's probably said it to so many women. And that I believe you was the dumbest thing I've ever said in my entire life. But it's fine. Being that stupid once is enough. The car stopped at Rueha Hospital. I got out and walked inside. Elevator to top suite. Nanny held baby. Sunbathing on the balcony. The baby saw me. Tiny hands reached, babbling. I took him, cradled him in my arms. Gripped my collar, bright eyes met mine. As if saying, Mommy, you're finally back. I whispered, Mommy's back. Mommy's never leaving again. The baby smiled. Not some random, reflex smile. It was a conscious one. Looking at Mommy, knowing he was safe. I smiled too. Smiling until tears fell again. But this time, they were happy tears. Because from today on, my baby and I, we are finally free. No one can hurt us anymore. No one can dump us in an 8-bed ward again. To die alone, smelling the stench of the toilets. Because from today on, we have each other. That's enough. Outside the window, the sun was shining. A new day was just beginning. And as for him, Jason Chen. His night is only just falling. He'll spend every single day right where he belongs. He'll miss his son. But never see him again. He'll regret his choices. But there's no turning back. He'll hate me. But he can't hurt me anymore. Because from today on, he and I are done. He's him, I'm me. His hell is his. My heaven is mine. Fair. I held the baby, standing by the floor-to-ceiling window. Looking out at this glittering city. I said, you must grow up to be a good person. Don't lie. Don't betray those who are truly good to you. Once you lose that, it's gone for good. The baby yawned. I took that as understanding. The night deepened. The city lights, one by one, went out. I lay in bed. The baby sleeping in the crib beside me. Moonlight streamed through the window, falling on his tiny face. He slept soundly, his little mouth slightly pouted, breathing evenly. I looked at him and thought, this is my everything. This is everything I fought so hard to protect. For him? I could give up anything, I could conquer anything. For him? I crawled out of that 8-bed ward. I endured a C-section on the operating table. I faced down the man who hurt me in court. For him? I could become anyone, even a she-wolf. I closed my eyes and finally fell into a deep sleep. This time, no nightmares. Because the nightmare is over. And it's never coming back. Because from today on, my life is only sweet dreams. Good night, baby. Good night, world. Goodbye, past. Hello, future.